welcome back to We're Having Fun. I am Mark, and I'm having fun because it's the podcast where we have fun. What's up?
Hey, I'm Krista.
Hi, Krista. Good to see you.
I'm also here on this podcast.
You are. You're having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's Labor Day weekend, so we're chilling out, Max, relaxing, all cool.
Shooting some b-ball outside of the school.
When did you shoot b-ball?
It was while you were at work. So.
You got a pickup game?
Yeah.
That's fair.
I got a basketball game tomorrow.
A point guard.
Oh boy. So
memes.
it's a long weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been watching a lot of TV.
That's right. We have for you, the listener.
So much.
We've been doing it for you. I hope you appreciate it.
Well, we've watched some stuff for ourselves also.
Shh, don't tell them.
We'll probably talk about them anyway.
It's all for you. Yeah. So, what are some stuff we watched that we're not going to really go into?
Well, currently we're watching The Haunting of Bly Manor.
Yeah.
It's
a rewatch for me.
Yeah, I haven't seen it before. I've seen The Haunting of Hill House, but not Bly Manor.
Yeah.
And
we need to get to Midnight Mass.
Yeah, we've got to watch Midnight Mass, and then, of course, Midnight Club comes out next month.
Because it's spooky season.
I think it's next month, anyway.
I think so.
So, yeah, trying to catch up on all of the... What is the guy's name? Mike Flanagan?
I have no idea.
I think that's who it is. Trying to catch up on all of his shows. So, yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. It's got 2 creepy kids, so that's fun.
It's always creepy kids.
Yeah. I mean, there were kids in The Haunting of Hill House, but I don't feel like they were really creepy kids.
No, there were so many other creepy things going on.
Yeah, there was too much other creep stuff going on for them to be creepy. But these kids I don't like these kids.
They are very creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of them has a dollhouse that has dolls that apparently come to life or something. I don't know. It's weird. And then, there's a lot of stuff happening.
Yeah, it's a happening.
And there was one person where there was one thing that happened. That we were watching it earlier tonight. And I was like, oh, is this about to happen? And it happened like right as I said it. I was like, oh, okay. I didn't think I was going to be right, but but I was.
Yep.
So, I think that the ghosts in Hill House are scarier.
Oh, yeah. But I did feel like the Hill House was a lot scarier than Bly Manor.
Yes. Plus, and there haven't been too many, jump scares. There was one jump scare in Hill House, toward the end of the season that everybody was like, oh my god.
Oh, man, I can't even remember.
They're in the car.
Still don't remember.
Okay.
But, yeah, it's fine.
So, yeah, we're watching that. Also, we watched, well, you didn't watch all of it.
No.
You were napping during one part of it when I was watching. And then you missed the end because you had to go to work.
Yeah.
But we watched Heartstopper.
Mm-hmm. And what I saw, it's a good little show.
Yeah.
I liked it.
It's a pretty short one, too, because I think each episode is only, 30 minutes. And I can't remember if it was 8 or 10 episodes. So it doesn't take too long to get through it.
Yeah.
But I recently read the comic book version of it because it's based on comic books or graphic novels, whatever. And yeah, I just recently finished those. Well, I say finish the ones that are out. Apparently there's another volume that's going to be coming out in February, I think.
Okay.
So I thought that it was only going to be 4 volumes. And I was very excited when I got to the end of it. And I was like, yay, we're done. And then it said, Volume 5 coming soon. And I went, wait, what?
Huh?
But I mean, I like it, so I'm okay with there being more. I'm not complaining about there being more. It's just now I have to wait. to read the last one.
Yeah, sure.
So, but it was really cute. I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
Did not like the hair of one of the characters, but
yeah, it's awful hair.
It's pretty bad.
Terrible.
Pretty bad.
Yep.
But everything else was really cute.
Yep, agreed. Is there anything else we watched? That was pretty much it besides what we're going to talk about. Pretty sure that was it.
I'm trying to think.
I'm pretty sure that was it.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So let's get into what we're going to be talking about today.
Yeah, we've got a lot to cover.
Yeah.
But I don't think I always say I don't think we're going to talk that much about
when you
it,
say
and then
it's terrible.
I jinx us.
Yeah.
So maybe I should not say that.
Yeah,
so.
probably not.
All right. So, we'll start with She-Hulk, episode 3.
Yes.
Of course, we're covering She-Hulk until it's over with, I guess. Is it only 6 episodes?
I don't know. Probably.
Okay. Because if so, we're already halfway through.
Nice.
But if it's more than that, then we're not.
Well, I really like this episode. This episode was really fun, I thought.
Yeah,
Very funny.
I was about to say, I don't even remember what this was about. And then I looked at my notes and went, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a fun one.
It was good.
So this one, I think it was called The People versus Emil Blonsky.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, it's got a lot to do with his case.
Yep.
It starts off, she's very mad at Blonsky because,
Of course.
you know, he has been escaping.
Just left.
And she's like, I'm trying to get you paroled here, and you've been doing this. Come on, man.
It's like, but it was against my will.
Yeah, it was...
That's my...
Tim Roth impersonation.
It was against my will.
It was Wong the whole time.
I didn't want her.
He made me do it.
I promises you.
I just want to get out of here to get my soulmates. We've got a little plot of land.
Cheerio.
They're just going to give me their money. I don't know.
Yeah, his pen pals that are in love with him. Yep. They're all dressed the same.
Yeah, they all had like flowers, flower crowns and everything. Yeah. It's funny.
Ridiculous.
So yeah, she's like, what are you doing? And he tells her, you know, the whole, well, Wong was getting me to do this thing. Mm-hmm. So she's like, okay, well, I guess I'll talk to Wong. Yep. So she's trying to figure out how to even get in touch with Wong. And Nikki decides to send him a thirst trap. Oh, which is just a picture of her surrounded by books.
Yeah, because he's a librarian or whatever. And it works.
It works. Yeah. So there we go. That was funny.
Oh, Wong.
I love Wong. He wasn't in it very much. No. But it was good.
Yeah, it was enough.
It was good to see him.
Yeah. So he stops by and he says, yeah, I took him out. Yeah. I'll testify to that if you want.
Exactly.
It's cool. I'm Sorcerer Supreme.
Yeah, exactly. So they're like, all right, cool. Well, there we go. That's our case, I guess. Yep. But then there's also another case that is happening at the same time.
Pug's running.
Yes, Pug gets to have his own little case. It is Dennis Bukowski.
The jerk from the last one.
Yes, the jerk who worked with her before. Yeah. He has been catfished by a shape-shifting light elf from New Asgard named Runa. Uh-huh. Who was pretending to be Megan the Stallion. Yeah. And they're Megan the Stallion.
Yeah. They're like, really? You thought Megan the Stallion wanted to be with you? Multi-Grammy winning Megan the Stallion. And he's like, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
What are you talking about? Of course. Why wouldn't she?
Oh my gosh.
He is a very deluded man.
Yeah, so there's this whole running gag where people will be talking to someone and they'll tell them something and then walk out of the room and then they immediately come back in and they're like, no. This is not what I want. Everything's cool, you know. And it's like, Runa.
she just is everywhere, just taking everybody's shape.
Because she shapeshifts into Bukowski at one point. Yeah. And then she shapeshifts. Oh my gosh, I can't say shapeshifts into Pug. Yeah. It's
like, I like to harass women in the office or something.
And Pug's like, no, I don't. You know me.
You know me, guys.
And then she does it again with the judge.
Yeah. And they're like, dude, that's illegal.
That is illegal. You can't do that.
Impersonate a judge. She's mischievous.
Yeah, it's very funny.
Yeah.
So then we go back to the parole hearing for Blonsky. All the other witnesses are there. They're talking about how he started up the library or whatever, or funded the library in the prison and helped people become literate, the other prisoners. And it's
yoga.
It's no longer just a place to shiv people. Yeah, teaches yoga. He was basically was kind of like a counselor for one of the guards whose wife was I guess she left him or something?
Yeah, I think so.
Something like that. So he's kind of been a psychiatrist for that guy, you know? So
he's been helping a lot of people.
Yeah, he's been helping people. So they're like, well, that's cool and everything, but you were still escaping jail. And so they're like, okay, well, we have somebody for that, but where's Wong?
He was late for some reason.
Yeah, he was late. So he shows up and he tells them, yeah, it was me. I was the one who was doing it.
He came back willingly. He wanted to serve his time.
Exactly. So, yeah, since he kept coming back, he would, he'd say, no, I have to go back. I have to finish out my sentence and all this stuff. So
they're like,
that's good for them.
That's great and all, but you're still, if you become the abomination, you're still going to create havoc.
Yes. So he's like, but I can control it, So he turns into abomination.
No, he doesn't. He says, I can control it.
Oh my God. Come on.
It's like you're not even trying to do the impression.
Because I'm not.
Hey, Mary Poppins.
Stop it. So anyway, he turns into abomination. And he's like completely fine.
Everybody's freaking out.
It's
hard.
Like, calm down. Just
even She-Hulk's like, oh God, okay, oh come on, man, stop.
It's like he's in a cage though.
Yeah,
that's why that cage is there.
Yeah,
just let him turn into it. In case
he becomes abomination,
right? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So anyway, and he's like talking. He's like, as abomination, he's like, see, everything's fine.
It's fine.
So he can control it.
Yeah.
But then they're like, okay, well, we'll think about it. We'll come back after a recess or whatever, and we'll come up. We'll give you our verdict or whatever.
Right.
And then they're like, oh, but also Wong, so you've been breaking him out of jail, so that's illegal. And Wong's like, I gotta go.
Yeah, and he's out.
He just gets out of there.
He portals out of there.
It's like, okay, well.
Like, well, see ya.
Deuces. So he gets out.
Yep. Wong ain't no dummy.
No. So then, with Dennis's case, with Dennis and Runa, they get Jen to testify
about how delusional he is.
Yes, about how he thinks he's like God's gift to women or whatever, and of course he would think that it was actually Megan Thee Stallion.
Yeah.
So that wins him the case.
Yeah, and Megan Thee Stallion's actually
there
in court.
Yeah, and then he's like, "Do you think she would date me?" Dude,
stop it.
No, she's not interested in you. Oh my gosh. So yeah, he wins his case. We're going through this so fast, but I mean, there's not really much
There's
to talk
not a
about.
whole lot in there. Yeah.
So,
I mean, really, just watch the episode. It's really, really good.
It's really fun.
We're just hitting the highlights.
Yeah.
But it's there's a lot of jokes. It's really funny.
Yes.
She-Hulk's even does the fourth wall break, and it's like, I know what you're thinking. It's just gonna be a lot of cameos.
Yeah.
Wong, and I guess Hulk was here, and Abomination, and
yeah, it's like it's like, but don't forget whose show this really is.
Yeah.
So anyway, they go back to Blonsky's case. He does get paroled, but he has to wear an inhibitor because, of course, Dennis says something about being able to control something, or it'd be good if they could take Runa's powers away. And so she's like, "Oh my gosh, Hulk made that inhibitor thing, so maybe we can use that on Abomination." Or I'm assuming that's what she was using. So he has to. That's one of the things that he has to do to be able to get out on parole is he has to wear his inhibitor so that he won't turn into Abomination.
Right.
And he's like, that sounds good to me.
Yeah, let's go.
And so he's out.
Yep. So we'll see. Is he going to stay clean?
Who knows?
Was this all a setup? I don't know.
I don't know.
He's got a place to go. His followers got a bunch of land for him.
Yep.
Some money, I guess.
Yep. So, that's basically it. Except there is one little thing at the end. She's walking home, I guess.
Yeah, down like an alley.
Yeah.
Or something.
And these guys show up. And they have these glowing weapons and stuff.
And it took me a second to realize who they are.
And I have no idea who these people are. And I don't know anything about She-Hulk. I'm assuming it's a She-Hulk kind of thing, or is it?
They're kind of everywhere.
Okay.
Yeah, they're She-Hulk. They're like Captain America. They're just kind of everywhere.
Okay,
the Wrecking Crew is who they are.
Okay, well, I did notice that when they were talking, one of them, it showed the name of the person. It said Thunderball.
Yeah, so
I was like, okay.
Yeah, and he's got a ball on a chain. That's a Thunderball.
Oh, okay.
And then there's Wrecker, who has a crowbar.
Okay.
Pile Driver and why am I forgetting the last one? Bulldozer. I think he was the helmet guy.
Okay.
Which is a weird powered up thing. But yeah, so like they got like an enchanted crowbar or something that gave them powers.
Yeah.
I can't remember who enchanted it or why. I think it might have been Loki. And so yeah, they all got powers from it, and they just started becoming criminals and doing bad stuff.
Okay.
So they're kind of just low level bad guys.
All right. Well, anyway, she turns into She-Hulk and she just beats him up.
Yeah.
But one of them tries to, and it looks like he's trying to get some of her blood or something, but it breaks the needle. It breaks the syringe, so he doesn't actually get it. And he's like, the boss is going to be mad.
Yeah.
It's like, who's the boss?
Who's the boss? Tony Danza.
It's like, hey,
Angela. You didn't get the She-Hulk.
Am I gonna have this in Jonathan?
Oh,
Mona.
I
don't remember what his daughter's name was.
Alyssa Milano.
Sure. Oh, so yeah, we don't know who their boss is, or at least I don't know who their boss is.
I don't know who it is either.
Okay. I guess it could be anybody.
Could be Kingpin.
Could be.
Trying to think of other.
Maybe that's why Daredevil shows up, because he's supposed to be in it at some point. So
maybe Echo's got a bad group.
Maybe.
I don't know.
So we'll
see. Yeah, we'll see. Well, it can't be Kingpin. He's dead. We know he's dead.
Yeah, he's so dead.
He'll never come back from that.
Never. We didn't Yeah, I don't. It didn't show him die, and we already know he's coming back in something. So, come on, Marvel.
Yeah.
Anyway. That makes me think of when Infinity War ended, and everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, all these people are dead. They're never coming back." And it's like, and here goes Black Panther 2 and the next Spider-Man movie and all this stuff. And it's like, oh well, I mean, I guess they gotta be around for those. So.
Yeah, it's true. Anyway. Yeah, I was still surprised at the end of that movie that they actually did that and would have them away for half a movie or more than half a movie. So yeah. Anyway, it was a good episode.
Yeah, and
highly recommend. I hope the rest is like them.
Yes, it was very fun. There was a post-credit scene also.
I already forgot.
Where she is now the lawyer for Megan Thee Stallion.
Oh, yeah.
And they're dancing in her office. Oh, my
gosh. They're just twerking.
They're twerking all over the place.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
These post-credit scenes are getting more and more ridiculous.
Yeah, but, I mean, it was funny, so.
I did like the joke in there of, I think it was her video of when she turned into She-Hulk in court on YouTube or something, and all the comments showing about, woke culture and all this
Oh, my gosh,
stuff.
I forgot about that.
The Me Too thing's gone too far.
Oh, my God.
Shut up.
It was like a nod to the whole, all these
jerks and assholes.
Yeah, talking about the MCU, and I'm just like, God, shut up.
All these idiots out there.
Shut up. And speaking of that, of course, there are people who are like, oh yeah, of course, She-Hulk's gonna be twerking and all this stuff. But it was okay for Zemo to be dancing in a club. They loved that.
Yeah.
And it's okay for I was trying to think if there was another one where somebody, Star-Lord dancing, doing a dance off at the very end of Guardians. Cool. Yeah, it's like,
but
if She-Hulk does it, but if a woman does it.
How dare she?
It's like, jeez.
Ridiculous.
It is.
Anyway.
It's like,
good stuff.
Women like to have fun too.
Yeah.
Let us have some dang fun. Come on.
Yep. Let the girls have fun.
They just wanna.
This one's for the girls. All right, so now we moved on. We actually binged all of Sandman.
So much.
It was a lot. It's 11 episodes.
It's 11 episodes.
It's 10 and then a bonus one with some bonus stories.
But I mean, that bonus one is still the same length as the other ones.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I don't know. We probably won't go into a ton of detail. But we'll get to what happened and stuff. Yeah. Because
so, I've
just been reading it. I am now on volume 8 and I'm loving it. It's great. It's one of my favorite comics now, honestly. Okay. Yeah. It's great. So I was more excited to watch it than I had been. So yeah, it's
been a long time since I read them because I started reading them in 2006. because an ex-boyfriend of mine was like, you should read these. They're really good. And I started reading them. I was like, I mean, it's fine. He's like, okay, fine. Well, how about you read this other thing? And then he gave me Fables. And I was like, okay, now this is more my style. Yes, so let's have some fairy tale characters living in New York. Okay, sure. So I got really into Fables. But I did go back and I did finish reading Sandman. It just took me a while to get through them all. Yeah. But it was good. It was a good series.
Yeah. I like a couple years ago, I tried to read Sandman. I read volume 1. And I don't know. There's a part which we'll get to that kind of disturbed me, and it kind of messed with me, and I don't know, I didn't like it too much. And so, yeah, I don't know if that, stopped me from reading it, but yeah, now that I've gotten past that part, I'm good.
Yeah, there was, I think it was the second volume of it that I kind of started getting bored during. I don't know why. I guess it was because it was, the same characters.
Yeah.
And the first was a bunch of different characters, a bunch of different storylines or something.
Yeah.
And so I was kind of like, I want to move on from these characters.
Yeah.
Because I didn't really like them that much.
Yeah. Was that the Rose?
Yes, that was the whole Rose thing. Yeah. And I was like, I don't really care about these people.
Yeah, I agree.
I liked it better in the show, though.
Me too, yeah.
It was much better in the show.
Yeah. All right, so let's get into it. This is a WB production. Which apparently they are hurting for money so bad they can barely release anything. They are in a bad shape right now.
Oh, jeez.
They're a mess.
Yeah, because that's they're the ones who are doing the whole HBO Max thing and all that. That's
apparently
WB
it's not going
stuff.
well.
Well, I mean,
they just got bought by Discovery. You would think they would have some money.
Yeah, well,
I don't know.
I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, Sandman is Neil Gaiman. It's one of his things.
His baby.
Yeah, one of his babies. There are a few other things that he's done that I like. So, he wrote Coraline. That the movie Coraline is based on.
Yeah.
He also wrote Stardust, which you've never seen the movie Stardust.
How do you know?
Have you?
No.
Because we have discussed it before. Because I was like, have you ever seen Stardust? And you were like, no. And I remembered. That's how I knew.
You remember.
Well, of course.
Sweet.
But it's
American Gods. You also did.
It's a fun movie. We should watch Stardust at some point.
Okay.
Yeah, he did American Gods.
He did Marvel 1602.
That's true.
Which we loved.
I think he and Terry Pratchett did Good Omens, which there's also a TV show of it.
Okay.
Which I've heard is really good, and it has David Tennant and Michael Sheen in it.
Oh.
One of them is an angel and one is a demon. So, interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah, so he's done a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, agreed.
So, I guess we should just start off with the first episode.
Yes.
And I don't know how in depth we're going to go, but basically, it starts off in England, 1916.
Okay.
I don't know how to pronounce the place because it looks like it's Welsh, so I'm not even going to try. But yeah, 1916, at the home of Roderick Burgess, who wants to be called Magus because he's a magician.
Yeah.
And he's played by Charles Dance.
Yeah.
So Tywin Lannister.
Lannister's there.
Yep.
Being a jerk.
He's real good at being a jerk. Very good at,
yeah.
And he is trying to summon one of the Endless. And it doesn't say which one, but he's trying to summon one of them.
Yeah, I feel like in the comic they just say that it is Death.
Maybe. You can kind of tell.
They say it because...
Well, I mean, you can tell who they're going for because of what he wants from them.
Yeah,
because his son died.
Yeah, and a doctor that's a curator of a museum or something brought him a book, and because his son died in the war, and they're like, "We'll summon Death, bring him back."
Yeah, exactly. We can ask for Death to bring them back to life. And he has another son, a younger son, Alex. And he absolutely just hates Alex.
Yeah.
Because he's like, because the guy's like, well, you have another son. He's like, do I?
I have no son.
He's like, he's no son of mine.
My son died.
Yeah. He's a big jerk.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Dream, the main character, of course, also known as Morpheus, but not Morpheus from The Matrix.
Nope, not that Morpheus. Also known as the Sandman, not that Sandman from Spider-Man 3.
Oh boy.
Also known as... He's got a lot of names.
He's got a lot of names, yes. Yeah. So Dream is out and about in the real world. He's trying to bring one of his nightmares back to his realm.
Yes.
The nightmare is the Corinthian.
The Corinthian, a very creepy character.
Yes, very creepy.
He murders people.
And he's trying to get him back. But suddenly, before he can do it, he is summoned by Burgess. And they capture him. They trap him.
Yeah, they got like a little circle they've drawn out that binds him there.
Yep, so he's stuck there. And they take his things from him. Because he has these tools that he always has with him. One of them is his helm.
Yep.
He has his bag of sand, because of course he's the Sandman.
Of course.
And he also has a ruby that will help. It basically makes dreams come true, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, it doesn't really tell what the helm does.
Yeah, I don't really know. It just like focuses his power, maybe.
I guess so, yeah, because it does focus his power later, so.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they steal all of his stuff, and they put him in like a glass globe.
Bind his physical body.
And unfortunately, that means that now that he's captured, there are some people in the world who can't wake up.
Right. They got sleeping sickness.
Yep. Although they were calling it sleepy sickness.
Sleepy sickness,
which is weird. But it affects like nearly 1 million people, I think is what it says.
Yeah. People aren't dreaming, really.
Yeah. They're having, or
just having crazy dreams.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's all out of control.
It's definitely all out of control.
And the Corinthian stops by.
Yes.
Because he wants Dream to stay captured, so he can just
do whatever he wants.
Footloose and fancy free.
Yeah, because if Dream's not there to stop him, he can do whatever he wants.
Yep.
And
so he's like, here's what you need to do.
Exactly.
Put him in a cage.
Yeah, put him in a cage.
Have guards watch him.
Make sure that they're taking pills so that they will not fall asleep. Because you cannot fall asleep in his presence or he will get into your dreams.
Yep.
And also make sure that his raven can't contact him. Because he has a raven with him named Jessamy.
Yep.
And she like flew out of his cloak basically when they captured him.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
a
basically
predicament.
Yep. So he's stuck there.
Then they like ask him for things. So, like, just do this, I'll let you go. And he just doesn't say anything.
Doesn't say anything.
And Alex looks like he feels bad for him.
Yep. And then Alex, time goes by, like 10 years or whatever goes by. And
Alex is still getting crapped on.
Yeah, Alex is still getting crapped on, of course. His dad now has a mistress or whatever. Has his new little girlfriend named Ethel.
Yeah.
And I have notes, but I'm trying to think of how to get all this done. And Jessamy keeps coming back, but they've been trying to kill her. Yeah. But they can't kill her until she finds this way. She's like such a smart bird. Yeah. She like goes in, she lights a match, lights a fire, somehow manages to get down where he's trapped. Yeah. And is trying to like break him free. And then Alex...
And then blood just splatters everywhere. Yeah.
Yes, because she just like explodes basically. Yeah. Which was really sad.
It was crazy.
Because I was like, Jessamy, no!
Yeah.
So yeah, Alex killed Jessamy.
Alex with a heel turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate to see it.
Because it was like, he was the one that you're thinking, oh, he's gonna help Dream get out of here. But nope. He does not. Yep. So now he doesn't even have his raven to help him. Then Ethel gets pregnant. Yep. And
Tywin wants her to abort it.
Yes. Roderick's like, I don't want this baby. Get it out of here. And she's like,
deuces.
I'm out and I'm taking all your stuff.
Yep. She robs him blind.
Yeah,
takes takes Dream's stuff.
And a bunch of money.
$200,000.
Yep. And she hightails it out of there. And, of course, Roderick is very mad about it. He gets into a fight with Alex. Yep. And then Alex pushes him. Yep. And he smacks his head and he dies.
Yep. So, smacks back of his head.
There he goes. He's gone. Yep. So, but Alex kills his dad. Whoopsie. Then Ethel, of course, who is doing her own thing, she does have her son named John. Or Johnny. And Alex falls for Paul, this guy who's like a gardener or whatever. Yeah. For the estate. And then...
He doesn't release Dream. He still keeps him there, asking him for stuff.
Because he's afraid that when he does release him, he's gonna take his revenge on him, basically. Yeah. Because he did kill Jessamy. And it was like, you killed my bird. I'm pretty pissed off about it.
So, Dream don't play no games.
Exactly. He really doesn't.
He doesn't. Especially in the early goings. Yeah. He is not a nice guy.
No. So years go by, and since Dream is there, it like extends the life of all of the people who live in the manor, and also anybody who's like left in their dream state. So
that's the secret to beauty, is just sleep a lot.
I guess so.
Now we know.
So
I'm getting on it right now.
Anyway, so finally Paul and Alex are really, really old.
Yeah.
And
Alex is in a wheelchair.
Yep. And
Paul's
you're like
rolling him around.
And you're like, all right, this is the time. He's finally going to set him free, right?
Yep.
Surely. No.
Nope.
But Paul accidentally does.
Yeah. In this, it doesn't look like he accidentally did it.
Yeah, it looks like he did it on purpose. Like,
wink.
Like, wink, I left the portal open for you.
Don't kill me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he wheels him out of the circle, and when he does, it breaks the circle.
Yeah.
Which means, and then of course, that means that the guards that are on duty, he can make them fall asleep, which one of them does.
Yep.
And that's how he escapes.
Yep, he gets out.
He gets out of there.
Wrecks shop.
Yep.
I mean, he pretty much just puts everybody to sleep.
Yeah.
And then he puts Alex to sleep. A never-ending sleep.
Yep. He's permanently asleep.
Yep.
And Paul's like, no, what did you do? Well, Paul, you're the one who let him out. So technically it's your fault.
And in the comics, I think he's like always having just like a torture dream where he keeps waking up.
Yeah.
But he never actually wakes up.
But he never does. Yeah.
It's gotta be.
Because you could tell he was having some kind of nightmares.
Yeah. It's gotta be crazy.
Yeah, so he's finally out. He's finally free. You find out that the Corinthian is still alive.
Yeah.
He's still doing his thing. And
he's very weak.
Yes, he's very weak. He shows back up outside of the gates of his realm, the Dreaming.
Yeah.
And Lucien finds him. Lucien is like the librarian who's kind of been in charge of everything since he's been gone.
Yeah, and they separated out because Lucien was the same. It was the same as Cain in the comics. They were the same person, just a different name, like Morpheus and all that. So they just went ahead and just made them two different people, and they made her a female. So I think that's a good idea. I think it worked. Yeah. So yeah.
And while he's been gone, because he's been gone for like 106 years or something like that.
Yeah.
The realm has fallen into ruin. So
a lot of the dreams and nightmares have escaped.
Yep. There's basically the only thing that's left. There are just a few things that have stayed behind.
Yeah.
One of them, of course, is Lucien, because she's been taking care of everything.
Yep.
And then there are a couple of other things that you find out, like in the next episode.
Right.
So, yeah, I guess that's all first. I guess we can just head on over to episode 2.
Let's keep going.
All right. So he's too weak to rebuild everything in the realm.
Yep.
He's like, okay, well, I need to get my tools back.
Gotta find out where they are.
He finds out that Ethel is... Or not he finds out. Ethel is still around. We find out that Ethel is still around.
Yeah.
She's like a broker.
Antiques broker, yeah.
And I wanted to call her the power broker. I was like, that's Marvel. But okay. So yeah, she's still around. She's doing her thing. And Dream realizes that he needs to talk to the Fates.
Yeah, the 3-in-1.
Yes, but the only way that he can do that is to get more power, because he's too weak to be able to summon them or whatever.
Yeah, so he needs to absorb something from the dreaming world.
Yes, and there's only one thing that is left that he made originally. So he goes to, what is it? I forget what the name of the houses are.
It's the
House of Secrets.
House of Secrets and House of Stories?
Or Whispers?
Whispers? Yeah, maybe
like
Whispers.
It's one of those two, I think.
Yeah.
But
They're run by Cain and Abel.
Yeah, Cain lives in one and Abel lives in the other.
Yep.
And they have a gargoyle named Gregory.
Yeah. Oh, he's so cute.
He's so cute.
This was different than the comics. What happened?
And they love Gregory the gargoyle.
Yeah.
But Dream shows up, and Gregory the gargoyle is the only thing left in the dreaming that he created.
So
he has to reabsorb it.
Oh, and Gregory's like, I'll do it. But he doesn't really say it.
Yeah,
but
woof, woof. He's like, yeah. And he even had his own little, like, gargoyle house. Oh, yeah,
a little gargoyle house.
It was so cute.
It was.
So, yeah, Cain and Abel are not very happy about it.
No.
Because they love Gregory the gargoyle.
Yeah.
But he reabsorbs him, which gives him his powers.
Yeah, some of it.
Or some of his powers back. Enough that he can go through dreams and find what he needs to summon the Fates.
Right. And Cain kills Abel.
Yeah.
Cain constantly kills Abel and he keeps coming back.
Yeah. He's got like just the whole like graveyard of empty graves where
he's buried Abel.
Where Abel just keeps coming back. He just gets right out of that grave and he's like, all right, well, you killed me again, but
thanks for not burying me very deep so it's easy to get out.
Exactly.
He gets like a hangman's gallows
and a crossroads
snake and a crossroads. Yes. Yeah. And then an egg.
Yes. And he uses those to summon the fates.
Yes.
So the fates, it's the maiden, the mother, and the crone. I think that's what it is. And they come and tell him his destiny or whatever, his future.
Yeah, he gets 3 questions. Yeah. 1 for each of them.
Yes. So he asks
about each tool.
About each of his tools. So he's like, where's the sand? And, they say that it was last purchased by Constantine. Yeah. So he's like, all right, well, where's the helm? The helm was traded to a demon. And the ruby was passed from Ethel to her son. Right. So now he knows where they are. He's just got to go find them. Yep. But the Corinthian, of course, is also looking for them. Yeah. And
killing.
Yeah. He doesn't really come into the story at this point that much.
No.
He just kind of he's like, okay, yeah, I'm looking for them.
He shows up, cuts some people's eyes out.
But I'll be back in like a couple episodes.
Yeah. Just remember me.
Just remember, I'm still here. So the egg, though, he did not use to summon the fates. He gives it to Cain and Abel. Yeah. And it hatches. And it's a new little baby gargoyle. It's a new gargoyle, and they name it Irving. But they call it Goldie.
Cain hates it. Cain's like, you don't name a gargoyle Irving.
It has to start with a G because it's a gargoyle. So he's like, Gerving.
Stab.
Yeah. So he's like, all right, fine. We'll call it Goldie.
Yeah. But you're Irving to me.
Exactly. Oh, man. So we also find out that, yes, Ethel did trade the helm to a demon for an amulet of protection. And so she's been using it. So if anybody tries to hurt her, it will hurt them back. Yeah. Basically.
Something's going on.
Not while you've got the amulet. So Ethel goes to see John because she wants to make sure he's okay, I guess.
Well, the Corinthian visits her first. Yes. And is like, hey, where's the items? He's gonna come for them. Yeah. And she's like, none of your business. Yeah.
Oh, and he tries to do something to her, and the amulet stops him, and it kills him, basically.
Yeah. But he just reappears later. Yeah. Because he's not a human.
Yeah. He's a nightmare, so he goes back to the dreaming, and then he just leaves there again, because he's like, I don't have to be here, bro. I'm out. Bye.
But yeah, then she goes and sees John. It's like, we need to give that ruby back. Where's the ruby?
Exactly. And John is played by David Thewlis, who was Lupin in Harry Potter.
Oh, okay.
He looked familiar. He was also Ares in Wonder Woman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Interesting. Anyway, so, yeah, interesting to see him. And then, at the end of the episode, we find out the dream is going after the sand. He's going to go try to find Constantine.
He is.
So...
we get to meet Johanna Constantine.
Yeah, I keep wanting to say Constantine, but they say Constantine. Yeah. Because I guess that's the way it was supposed to be pronounced.
Yeah. She's got bad dreams.
Yes, she's got lots of nightmares. One in particular where she's going to do like an exorcism or whatever, and it goes wrong. Yeah. So now she is going to a different exorcism. And it was like a princess.
Yeah. And they're like, she's possessed.
She's possessed. She wants to marry this like football player or whatever. Yeah.
She wants a secret wedding.
Yes.
Because the queen will be mad.
Yeah.
And she's yelling in the thing,
she is.
Which I wonder why she was yelling so
I don't know, but...
because they're like, oh boy, she's got it bad.
So Johanna and the priest switch places.
Yeah, switch clothes.
Yes, and she's getting ready to perform the marriage and everything, and she starts reciting Latin for like the exorcism
like,
kind of stuff.
Repeat after me.
Yeah, exactly. And the princess is fine. Yeah. But the guy she's marrying is actually a demon.
He keeps gagging. Yeah.
And this demon pops out of this guy and just rips him
apart. Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't think that's how exorcisms go.
Yeah, I did not know that was
the purpose of an exorcism is to get rid of the demon while still keeping the person alive. Saving the person,
yeah.
But, okay.
Apparently not this demon.
Not this one. He's just like, whatever.
Yeah.
Whoops. So, yeah, that's
Yeah.
Pretty crazy. So that happens, and then as she's leaving, she meets...
Well, she's about to cast the demon down, and Dream shows up.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And
she meets him as she's going
the demon,
in. Right.
hey, who has my helm?
Yes.
And he's like, I'll tell you if you let me stay.
And she's like, nope.
She's like, I'm not listening. Sorry, Dream.
Exactly. So he gets cast back down into hell.
Yep.
Before he can give the answer. So he's like, all right, fine. Well, you have my sand and I want it back. And
I think she's like, all right. Well, I might have left it somewhere.
Yes.
'Cause I was with this girl and I kind of just ran out on her without saying goodbye. So it's probably still there.
And also at this point, well, it's before she starts talking about that. She's like, sorry, I don't know where it is or whatever. And she looks behind him and she's like, she says something about how she knows that he's Dream or whatever. And he's like, how do you know? And she's like, because Dream always has a raven with him. And he's like, what? I don't have a raven. Yeah. Because Lucienne was like, you need to take a raven with you. You always need to have a raven. Mm-hmm. And he's like, I don't need a raven. Yeah. No one can replace Jessamy.
He was very emo at the beginning.
Yes. So she's like, well, who's that over there then? And there's a raven, of course. Mm-hmm. And it's Matthew. Yeah. And Matthew is Patton Oswalt.
The voice.
Yeah.
Like, oh, man. I like Matthew in the comics.
Yeah. So, of course, while he's like, what the heck? I asked her not to send me a raven. Johanna's like, out of here. Yeah. He's like, okay, well, she's leaving, so...
She's good at disappearing.
Mm-hmm. But he finds her in her dreams, and that's when you see her, like, the full part of her nightmare. Yeah. Where there was this little girl, and she told her to stay out of that room where the exorcism thing was happening.
Of course she went in there.
She shows up and gets dragged to hell. Yep. And leaves part of her arm behind.
Yeah,
it was like, oh,
up.
Yikes.
Yo.
Yeah. But anyway, she's like, okay, that's when she's like, I think I might know where the sand is. Mm-hmm. I think I left it behind with this woman, Rachel. Yeah. When I left. I just walked out on her. Yeah. So they go find it, and the sand is there.
Well, she gets in there. The old girlfriend greets her and is like, hey, you just left, you jerk. Yeah. She's like, can I come in and explain it? And then they get a little sexy.
Yeah, they start making out and everything. Yeah. They're like, let's take this to the bedroom. Mm-hmm. And then she starts talking about something else, about how she called, like, all of her exes and stuff, asking about her when she left. And then suddenly she just turns into dust in front of her, and Dream's there, and he's like, wake up. Yeah, so that was me. Yeah, so
well, they said the dream was the sand. The sand is messing with you.
Yeah. So because Rachel has been using the sand, I guess. But it doesn't really go into what she was doing.
Yeah. So in the comics she just abuses it basically like a drug, to where she's just pretty much in bed all the time, giving herself good dreams. Yeah. And sleeping, and just that's why she's all withered.
Yeah, she walks in, they walk in, and she just looks like a mummy. Yeah. And the sand is basically the only thing that's keeping her alive. Right. So he takes it back.
And Dream's like, all right, let's go. She's like, bro,
you can't just leave her here like this. Do something, you know? Yeah. So he's like, all right, you go ahead, go out, and I'll take care of it. So he gives her, like, one last dream that's, like, a sweet dream, and then she dies in her sleep.
She gone. So I thought, whenever the roommate or girlfriend answered, I was like, are they actually not going to do the sand thing of where she's messed up? I didn't know where they were going to go, because they did change a few things in this to where I was like, I kind of don't know what's going to happen exactly. Yeah. But it's still cool to see everybody. Yeah. But yeah, anyway.
So then we go to Ethel and John. John is not very happy because Ethel has lied to him basically his whole life. Yeah. And he's got this thing about lies, about people lying to him.
Yeah, he's real messed up.
Very annoying. But she's like, okay, you have to get the ruby. You need to get the ruby, because he took it and he like changed it somehow. He altered it so that it will only work for him. But I forget why she gives him the amulet, but she gives him the amulet.
She says she wants to protect him. Yeah. She's like, you won't need the ruby anymore. Because she's trying to convince him to give it back to Dream.
Thank you.
And she's like, you don't need the ruby. Here, take my amulet. It'll protect you. That way you can give the ruby back. Dream's not going to hurt you.
Yeah, and all that. Because she thinks that, if they just return the things to him, or the one thing that they have back to Dream, then he will
leave him alone.
Then he'll be like, okay, thanks for, giving it back. You can go about your way or whatever.
Right.
And if he doesn't, then the amulet will protect him.
Yeah.
So she gives him the amulet, and when she does, she turns like into an old person. Yeah. Like, big time. And just crumbles, basically. Yeah, she did. And of course, because he's in like a hospital.
Like a mental facility, yeah.
And the guard...
prison/hospital.
Yeah, and the guard comes in and sees her dead there, and he's like, what did you do? And starts like pointing a gun at him. And when he shoots him, of course, the amulet protects him. Yeah. Which means the guy just explodes.
Yeah, explodes into blood and guts, basically.
It's real gross.
Yeah.
And so that happens to a couple of people. Yeah. And he makes it out, though. Yep. And...
he gets picked up by a lady called Rosemary.
Well, that's in the next episode.
Oh, okay.
But the last thing in this one is that Constantine, now that she has helped him get the sand back, he's like, all right, well, you won't have any more nightmares. Any more nightmares, I'll take the nightmares away for you. Yeah. Since you helped me and everything.
So that's nice.
And then... Matthew's like, all right, well, what do we do now? And he's like, we're going to hell.
He's like, great.
They gotta go get that helm. Yep. So the next episode, they show up at the gates of hell. There's this demon that lets him in named Scatterbloat. Yep. And starts leading them
to the castle.
Yeah, he's gonna lead them to the castle. Then that's when John hitches a ride with Rosemary. And Rosemary's like the sweetest woman.
She's very nice.
I love her. And I was like, if anything bad happens to her, I might not be able to finish this. Yeah.
I was so very worried because, this is one thing they changed. But anyway.
So, she's by herself. She's got her dog with her, but she's going home to her 2 daughters. And he's like, he tells her where he lives. And she's like, oh, well, that's on my way, And she's so nice. And she lets him in there. And he starts talking about how he doesn't like when people lie and all this stuff. And... he's talking about how he murdered people. Yeah. And she's like, oh, no. Hey, I need to pull over and get some gas. That's okay. Even though she has like a full tank of gas. Yep. So, yeah.
Gonna run inside, get a drink. You want something?
Oh, my gosh. So, yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. And he goes in with her. Yes. And she tries to tell the... cashier to call the 911.
Yeah, and which he does, but he pulls a gun on John and John shoots him, and that kills the explodes. Guy, and they walk out, and she's like, we're both here sitting and going, Rosemary, just go.
She could have run out and gone. I was just like, Rosemary.
Oh my gosh. But she gets back in the car with him and keeps going. And I'm like, oh no.
Rosemary.
So yeah. So all that's happening. Meanwhile, they're in hell. They're like at the prisons or whatever. Yeah. And they see this woman named Nada. Of the First People. Yeah. And it shows him the way she saw him.
Right. Yeah.
Which is not the way that Dream looks, because he looks different for different people.
I'm assuming they'll probably go into that more later, because there is like a whole
surely
storyline about it.
Yeah, it'll probably go into it, but
if not, is at least cool.
Yeah,
to get that shout out.
So he was like, they were lovers or whatever, and something happened between them, and he was the one who basically sent her to hell. Yep. So they finally do make it to the castle, though, and they meet with Lucifer Morningstar. And Lucifer is played by Gwendolyn Christie.
Brienne of Tarth, yeah.
Brienne of Tarth, exactly. Or Captain Phasma, if you want to go that way. Phasma. So, I love her.
Yeah, she's cool.
So, anyway, I don't really know if I like that wig that they have her in.
Yeah.
It's real weird.
Not the best.
But I know in the comic books, Lucifer looks like David Bowie.
Yeah.
I mean, they basically just went, here's a picture of David Bowie. That's what Lucifer looks like.
Yeah. And they were like, in the comics, it was like a triumvirate. It was like it was like Lucifer and Beelzebub and somebody else. I can't remember. But this is just Lucifer Morningstar.
Yeah. Was it Azazel?
No, Azazel comes in later.
Yeah, I don't know. So anyway, Lucifer's like, which demon took your stuff? And he's like, I don't know the name of it. So Lucifer's like, all right, well, here's all the demons. Take your pick. Fine, we'll interview each one of them if you want to. Find out which one did it. But he uses his sand and figures it out.
Yeah, it like summons the guy there.
So it's Coronzon. And he has the helm. And he's like, I'm not giving it back. I paid for this fair and square. Which, I mean, honestly, he didn't
break any law.
So he's like, I'll fight you for it.
Challenge you to a duel.
So he's like, all right, cool. Well, I accept. If he loses, though, he has to be the demon's slave forever or whatever. But if he wins, of course, he gets the helm back. And he's like, okay, well, who's going to be your champion? And Dream's like, I'll be my own champion. He's like, who's going to be your champion? He's like, Lucifer. It's like, oh, crap. So it's Dream versus Lucifer. And they have this battle. It reminded me a lot of Merlin and Madame Mim in Sword in the Stone. So it starts off, Dream is... No, Lucifer is a wolf. Lucifer is a dire wolf. And then
he's a
Dream
hunter.
says, I'm a hunter. Then she is
snake.
A snake. And then he is a bird of prey. And then she's a bacterium. And then he's a world. And then she's like anti-life or something.
No, she's a meteor.
Oh, that's what it was. It was a meteor.
Like and then he's a
universe. And she's anti-life and he's hope.
That's ends it with death hope. Blow. Because what can kill hope?
Nothing. So
he wins.
So he grabs that helm and puts it on. And now that he's got it on, he can focus on the ruby and he can see where it is.
Well, and he also is like, thank you for you're so honorable. Thank you for letting me come and get my thing and then head out. She's like, bro, I ain't honorable. Why shouldn't I just have you killed? We don't need you here. We don't dream. And he's like, you need me? Because without dreams, how can you like torture people or whatever?
Because they'll never, without dreams, they'll have no way to dream of heaven.
Exactly.
So they have to have that or it's not torture. It's not the same, you know?
She's like, you win this round, Dream.
I'll get you next time. So he leaves and they go find the ruby. And he touches it, but unfortunately it's been altered, so he can't use it, and it blasts him into the wall or whatever. And then John and Rosemary show up.
Which this was in the comics a Justice League like safe house thing where they stored all the like bad guys weapons and stuff because he had been a bad guy that got stopped by the Justice League. So Sandman like went and visited the Justice League and talked to like Martian Manhunter and Green Arrow, I think, or somebody.
Oh my god.
Green Lantern.
Okay, well I'm glad that was
we didn't get that we didn't get that part.
Which is surprising because it was WB.
I guess they didn't want to pay for it.
But I mean, how much do you have to pay for Martian Manhunter? I mean, come on. So anyway, glad that was not in there. So he shows up. Rosemary stays in the car, and we're both going, Rosemary, drive away.
Just sat in there.
Just go.
Like, what are you doing?
Oh my god. So annoying. So he goes in. He gets the ruby. He comes back out.
Sees Dream. He's like, ha. Anyway.
Oh, did he see him there? I don't know if he even saw him.
I think so, because it was on the floor. I think you looked around.
Oh, okay.
Because, I mean, you would have been there. I mean, I know he did in the comic. Maybe I'm conflating those two.
Maybe. But anyway, he walks back out. Rosemary's still there. And he goes up to the car, and she's like, I know I'm going to regret this, but do you need a ride somewhere? And I'm just like, Rosemary. Honestly, at this point, so you deserve to die if you just do this again. You should have gotten out of there. But he's like, you're a good person. Here's something that will keep you from ever.
Nobody can hurt you.
Yeah, nobody will be able to hurt you if you have this. No one's going to harm you.
Not while
you have this. Around. Yeah, exactly. So he gives her the amulet to protect her. Which was like, that's a surprisingly nice thing for you to do.
Yeah, because in the comics, he just kills the person. Like, straight up just shoots her. And it's so sad. I felt so bad for her. But yeah, because she was very nice in the comics.
Yeah. Anyway. Thank goodness Rosemary survives.
I would have been very sad because she's like, just don't hurt Susie.
Yeah. Okay? Don't hurt my dog. Please. Oh my gosh.
She's such a nice person. Anyway.
Okay. So then we get one of the weirder episodes
Is it the diner episode?
It's the diner episode.
Yeah, so this
24/7.
is the part of volume 1 that disturbed me.
Yeah.
This whole sequence.
Yeah.
It's even worse in the comics, I feel like. It was pretty bad here, but...
Yeah. This was
just dark, man.
Yeah, this was the episode that there were several times I was like, no!
Yeah, it just gets worse and worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So John goes into this diner, this 24/7 diner.
Mm-hmm.
And he sits down. The waitress comes up and is real nice to him and everything. They talk about lies because that's all that John knows how to talk about.
Yeah, he's like, "We're gonna start a new world. A
world without lies." And she's like, "That sounds great." It's like, "Girl, you're gonna regret that."
Yeah.
So he starts kind of playing with the ruby. All these other people come in too because we do get introduced to like several other people.
Yeah, we got a guy coming in. He's got an interview in like an hour, so he's getting some coffee. He's nervous.
Mm-hmm. We've got his name is Mark. We also have
is that? I didn't remember.
Yes.
His name was
we also have Judy, who is there to also get coffee, but she's trying to get in touch with her girlfriend Donna. Yeah. Did you notice that when she was talking on the phone, who she was talking to?
Mm-hmm. Talking to Rose.
She was talking to Rose.
Yeah.
So yeah, and of course later you see in Rose's house or her apartment, there's a picture of Judy.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Judy and Rose know each other. But
yep.
Anyway, so there's Judy. Then you have the other two, the couple that comes in. I can't remember their names.
It's like Gary and...
Or Jerry.
Jerry and Kim.
Kate.
Yeah, something like that.
I don't know. But they're married.
She's a business lady.
Uh-huh.
He works in the office.
Yep.
They kind of hint that she got him the job and he's risen the ranks because of her, basically.
Yes, and Bet was the one who she was like the matchmaker.
Them, yeah.
She introduced them together. Okay, whatever. And then you have Marsh, who is the cook that Bet likes.
Yeah. And lucky for that other cook that just got out.
Oh my god.
Like
and
that
there was the other, was it just the cook? Yeah,
I think there was another couple that were in there at the time and they left as well.
Oh my gosh, they dodged a bullet right there. Man.
Lucky.
Because these people are about to have the worst time.
Yep.
Because
it's awful.
John starts playing around with his ruby and he is just causing chaos.
Yeah, he's making everybody say the truth.
Yep.
And it gets real bad.
So it's a world with no more lies. And apparently this is happening everywhere too.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe those people they did not dodge a bullet that left.
That's possible.
Because on the news, during this whole episode, that's showing the TV and the news is on and they're talking about all these terrible things that are happening.
Yeah. Pipelines are bursted.
Yeah, it goes pretty crazy.
Explosions, all kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, they may not be safe either.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this. Okay, I don't have a lot of notes for this.
Yeah, I don't want to go into a whole lot of detail. Honestly, if you want to watch it, you can watch it.
Let's just say things go badly for everyone, and everyone dies.
Yeah, pretty much. And it's not in a good. Real messed up way.
There were several times, like I said, that I was just like, no, no,
yeah.
no, don't do that, no.
Yeah.
So,
a lot of revelations that were not great.
No.
Man, it was heartbreaking. It was
rough.
It was.
To watch.
It was real bad.
But then Dream shows up.
Yeah.
And he says something about with no hopes and dreams, humanity dies.
Mm-hmm.
So he can't have that happen because he needs humanity.
This is my world, bro.
Exactly. So he takes him to the dreaming. He takes him to the house, like the Burgess house or whatever.
Yeah.
And shows him around there, I think. I can't remember exactly what happens. Then they go to the dream palace because he's like John is now in charge of the dreaming.
Right.
So he's in the dream palace. And while he's there, he's like, oh, look at me. I've taken all your power. I'm pretty awesome and all this stuff. And then he destroys the ruby.
Yeah, because he's like just throwing power at him. Just trying to kill Dream.
Kill Dream, yeah.
And it explodes the ruby.
The ruby explodes, which releases all of Dream's power, which makes him even more powerful than he was before. Yeah. So he's like, that was bad.
It
bad
pans
choice.
out and he's just holding him in his hand. Like, thank you, John.
Thanks.
I forgot how much was in that amulet.
Exactly.
Ruby. Now I am whole.
Yep.
And now you gotta die or something. I don't remember. What did he do to him?
He just put him back in the hospital.
Yeah. That's right.
So, I mean, he didn't kill him or anything, which was surprising.
Yeah, I think he's probably going to be asleep for a while.
Yeah, he's just another one of those people that's like, yeah, just sleep.
Yeah,
You're
sleep.
good.
I don't want to deal with it.
Yep. So then we have episode 6. It's called The Sound of Her Wings. And when I saw that, I was like, oh, I know which one this one is. This is one of the best of probably the whole series.
It's a good, yeah.
And it was also a very good episode.
Mm-hmm.
Had some sad moments, of course.
Yeah.
But, so this is all about Death. Because Death is also one of the Endless Dream's sister.
Yep.
And she arrives, and he just follows her around all day.
While she works.
While she does her duties.
Yeah.
And
pretty much just comforts people at the end when they die. Just like, hey.
Yeah, because she's like,
you know who I am?
Everyone wants to have, she wants everyone to have, as their last moment, like a smiling face.
Yeah, a kind
something
word,
in a kind word, something nice to end it all with.
Right.
So
he's like, how do you do it? How do you just keep doing this all the time?
Yeah.
And she talks about how they're not here to serve us. Yeah. We're here to serve them.
Exactly. Their purpose is serving humanity.
Yeah.
So it's all about making the humans happy or whatever and doing things for them. So he's been kind of selfish.
Yeah.
Recently, because he was like, now that I've got all of my stuff back, my quest is over, I don't have anything to do, he doesn't know what to do.
Right.
She's like, well, you're supposed to be serving the people.
Yeah.
that's what you're supposed to do, bro. Mm-hmm. Go do it. And he's like, all right, fine.
All right, fine.
Sounds good.
Whatever.
And now that I've figured this out, now that you've told me this, everything's good.
Yeah.
So then we have one of my other favorite parts, which is Hob.
Yeah, Hob.
This is also the story of Hob Gadling. Yeah. Robert Gadling.
Uh-huh.
And it starts off in 1389. Death and Dream walk into a bar.
Yeah.
And the bartender says...
Death ducks.
So they walk into a bar, and this is also... episode with Dream's horrible hair.
He gets long, awful hair.
So the first part, he's like, it's kind of like shoulder length hair. And it just looks
so bad.
Terrible. It looks really so bad. So they walk into this pub or whatever. Chaucer and Spencer, I think, or the other one was that one. They're there because definitely Chaucer's there because he's talking about the Canterbury Tales.
Right.
So they pass by him and everything, and then they hear this one guy and he's talking about how death is stupid.
Yeah, I'm just not gonna die.
I'm just not gonna die and all this stuff. And everybody just dies because the only reason people die is because everybody does it. Yeah. So he's like, well, I'm just not gonna die. So they have this, Death and Dream have this kind of bet, I guess.
Yeah.
Kind of a, how long do you think he'll last before he wants to die kind of thing. So Death is like, all right.
I'll grant him his wish.
I'll grant him his wish. He can live forever or as long as he wants to.
Yep.
And Dream goes over to him and talks to him. And they just
see you in 100 years.
They decide that they're going to meet up, or Dream says, I'll meet you here in 100 years.
Yep.
And he's like, okay, whatever. So then 100 years pass.
Yep.
And they meet up there.
Yeah.
And so they just keep meeting up there.
Uh-huh. He doesn't age.
He doesn't age. He kind of goes through ups and downs.
Yeah.
One time he's like everything is great in his life. He's a knight. He's got a wife rich. He's got a wife and kid. Everything's looking perfect for him.
Yep.
And also they meet Shakespeare there.
Yeah.
And
he sucks.
Yeah, and Dream goes over and talks to him.
Yeah.
And basically gives him the ideas or whatever for his plays.
Yeah, makes a deal with him.
Mm-hmm. And then the next time that he meets up with Hob has lost everything.
Yeah, he is.
His wife and his kids died.
Yeah.
And he lost all of his money. Mm-hmm. He got too cocky and he stayed in town for too long. So they were like, oh, something's wrong with him. Yeah. He's not aging. So they thought he was a witch and they tried to kill him.
Yep.
So he lost all his money and all this stuff, and he's just been like,
it's a bad time for Hob.
And he's been starving, but he can't die.
Yeah.
So he's like
and he's like, so do you want to keep on living?
Yeah, and he's like,
yes. These 80 years have been the worst of my life. But yeah, of course. I still have so much to live for.
I can do so much.
Why would I want to die? Look at that chimney. It's so cool.
So yeah, then later, like 100 years later, he's a slaver, and and Dream is like, bro, no, don't do that.
And the Constantine shows up to try to kill him because there's legend of the wandering Jew and death or something. I don't know. I don't remember what they called him.
It's like the demon and the wandering Jew or something like that. Yeah. And he's like, I'm not a demon. He's like, I'm not Jewish.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So he puts her to sleep, basically, or gives her a nightmare, like, right there, and so that they can escape.
Yeah.
And then in 1889, because it's 100 years every time, of course. So in 1889, they show up and they have this fight. Because he's like, you don't, I think the only reason, Hob tells him, the only reason that you come here every 100 years is because of friendship.
Yeah, you're lonely.
Because you're lonely and you need
companionship.
Yeah, exactly. And Dream's like, how dare you think that the Endless needs to have a companion and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Just being a real jerk about it.
Yep.
And then 1989, it's 89, Dream doesn't show up.
Right.
Because
the guy, when he was leaving after the last one, he was like, I'll be back in 100 years, and if you show up, I'll know it's because we're friends.
Yeah, because we're friends, And Dream doesn't show up.
Yeah.
And he's like,
but that's because he's in a...
crap. He's imprisoned.
Yeah.
He can't. He's stuck there. Come. So, yeah, he just couldn't do it. But when he gets there, the guy who owns the pub now is like, yeah, this... or it was like an old inn or whatever. He's like, yeah, it's been sold. It's going to be torn down and everything. So, and they kind of talk about how something about friendship and, it's okay. You have fights with friends and you make up and it's okay, after. So he'll come back, and then he does come back and he sees that it's all closed down. He's like, oh crap, I missed the appointment first of all. And now it's closed. What are we going to do? But there are signs, or there's paint and it says New Inn. And it's pointing to a certain place. Yeah. And he goes over and Hob is in there.
Yeah. He owns it, I guess.
He owns it and he walks up and he says something about
a friend. I'm sorry to keep friends
waiting. Yeah. And it's like, oh, they're friends. So cute.
Yeah. It's a good story.
It was. And then there's a very brief thing at the end of the episode where you meet Desire for the first time. And we find out that Desire has set up Dream somehow, but doesn't explain how.
Yeah, he is...
They.
Wiley, they.
Because don't know exactly.
Yeah, well, they go in between. They swap.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like depends. sometimes Desire is a man, sometimes Desire is a woman. It's just whatever they feel like. Yep. So, there we go. Then we get to the doll's house, which in the comic books was the part that I was just like, oh no. I don't like it. So this is the story of Rose Walker. And you have Desire, of course, is back, and Despair, who is Desire's twin. Yeah. And they're talking about how there's a dream vortex. Right. That has been born. And that dream vortex is Rose Walker.
Yeah. Despair does a nice little hook into her cheek.
Oh, gosh. I hate it.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
It's gross.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Rose Walker is looking for her brother because they were separated when they were younger. She went with her mother and he stayed with the dad. And then the dad just never would let him see him again.
I guess. And the dad died or something.
And then he died and then he was put into foster care.
Though. He would temporary foster care, but
he would go to the mom, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he would go to the mom. And I mean, if maybe they had no idea where she was. Yeah. But they said she'd been fighting for him the whole time. Right. So they would know where she's at.
That's his mom. It's come on.
So I don't know what that was
because they had joint custody, I thought they said.
Yeah, they did.
So what the heck?
I don't know.
It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
The whole thing does not make sense.
No.
Anyway, so she's looking for her brother. She can't find him, or she knows roughly where he is, or knows that
he's in Florida.
He's in Florida, basically.
Yeah.
So she gets invited to go to London. To meet someone there.
She thinks it's for a foundation.
Yes. And she takes her friend Lyda with her.
Right. And Lyda, kind of like her caretaker a little bit.
Yeah. Lyda and her husband kind of took Rose in after Rose's mom died. Right. But now Lyda's husband has died also. So they're good friends though, and they go to London together. Yep. Meanwhile, back in the dreaming, we find out that most of the dreams and nightmares have returned. Yep. Good for them. Dream is still kind of pissed about it because he's like, why did they leave in the first place? Yep. But whatever. I guess I'll forgive them. But there are 3 of them that have not. So 3 major Canna, which doesn't mean that they're necessarily nightmares, but 3 big things from there. Galt is the first one. Galt is like a shapeshifter.
Yep.
The Corinthian, of course, because we got to bring the Corinthian back in here.
Yep.
And then something called Fiddler's Green, which is like not even a person, it's a place.
Yeah.
It's this like nice little like utopia looking beautiful garden with like waterfalls and trees and grass and flowers.
It's like
and
where
it's just really pretty.
sailors are supposed to go or something when they die, I think.
Maybe, but
it was like a thing.
But yeah, it shows like a picture of it. It's like, oh, that's really nice.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Love it. So yeah, those are the 3 that are missing.
Yeah.
So they've got to try to find them. So Rose gets to London and she meets Unity Kincaid.
Yep.
Unity Kincaid in the very first episode is mentioned because she's one of the people who fell asleep.
Yep. She got the sleepy sickness.
Yep. And she woke up when Dream was released.
Right.
And you find out that while she was dreaming, she dreamed of a golden-eyed man and they had a baby. And then when she woke up, she had had a baby.
Yeah. Yeah, they really
weird.
tiptoed around this one because in the comics she did like get taken advantage of in her thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, I think, she just had the one kid, but yeah. It was pretty bad.
But anyway.
They were like, no, it's a dream.
But anyway, she has a baby.
Yeah.
And that baby grows up and has a baby. And then that baby grows up and has Rose. Wasn't that what it was?
Yeah.
Because she was the great-grandmother.
Right.
So she's Rose and Jed, because Jed is Rose's brother.
Yep.
She's their great-grandmother. And she's very rich because apparently her family owned like a sugar...
Kincaid Sugar.
Yeah, sugar company.
Yep.
So there we go. That's what's going on with them. So she's very excited
like,
because
I'll bankroll you. Yeah. I want you to go find my great-grandson.
Yep. And then also she gives her a
ring.
A ring.
An amulet.
An amulet, which was really weird because I was like, amulet? No, amulet. It's like, okay, those are way too close for 2 pieces of jewelry. I mean, come on.
And Rose had a dream about an amulet or something beforehand.
Yes, so it's like, oh, her dreams come true. Interesting.
Yep.
Yeah, so Unity's like, I'll fund you to go find Jed. So she heads off to Florida. And meanwhile, there are these 3 people who are getting ready for a convention.
Serial convention.
A serial convention. You could just go ahead and say what it is. It's a serial killer convention. Yeah. And they've lost their honored guest or whatever.
The family man.
And so they're like, man, it'd be really great if we could get somebody awesome for this. Yeah. We need the Corinthian.
Right.
So they decide that they're going to try to get the Corinthian, but they don't know how to get in touch with him. So what are they going to do? They're going to
do a copycat kill.
Kills.
Send a message to him.
So what the Corinthian does is when he kills people, he takes their eyes.
Yep.
So that's what they do.
Yep.
And so all
3 of them end up doing it separately.
Exactly. So he shows up and he's like, okay, I see what you're doing here.
Why shouldn't I kill you?
I don't like it.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, well, we wanted you to do this thing. And he's like, all right, fine, I'll do it. And I want to invite a guest.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, well, what name should we put that under? And it's like, the Vortex. So it's like, oh, he's going for Rose.
He's going for Rose.
And then we also find out that Rose is trying to find Jed, but also Dream is trying to find Jed.
Yep.
And he's been severed from the dreaming. So what's up with that?
Yeah,
they can't even find him in the dream world.
Yep.
So there we go.
Yep.
Then we get to the next episode. Unless I've missed something.
I don't think so.
Okay. So Dream tells Rose that she's a dream vortex because she goes into the dreaming and goes into the palace. And he's like, how the heck did you get here? Because you're not supposed to be here.
You?
Excuse you, ma'am. This is a Wendy's. Yeah. So my next note is Lida's ghost husband built their ugly ass dream house.
Oh my god, it is so bad.
It's so ugly. It's so bad.
He built a really bad house. And it was like her design.
Yeah, because they went to architecture school together. That's where they met. And she designed this house for them and he built it in her dream. And he's just been like hanging out in her dreams.
Yeah, in the dreaming. Because he says he doesn't leave when she wakes up.
Yeah, he just goes to work and does his own thing. And she's like, okay, that's weird,
you go to work? Why?
Okay. Yeah. So she keeps spending more and more time in the dream world.
Yeah. And they're bunked up in a like bed and breakfast kind of deal, but not really. But there's interesting characters there.
Yes.
Hal, who's like a drag queen performer.
Mm-hmm.
There's Ken and Barbie, who are ridiculous.
Yep.
They're a couple.
Yep, and then there's
Zelda and
I don't remember the other one's name.
Camille or something.
I don't know. I can't remember what it is.
I can't remember either.
But they're kind of like goth girls. Yeah. And they like have
they wear
a whole
black wedding dresses.
And they have a whole collection of stuffed spiders.
Yeah.
they're
Zelda
real
doesn't
weird.
Talk.
Yeah, Zelda doesn't talk.
Except just to the other one.
Yeah, and the other one is like she writes stories or whatever.
Yeah.
I cannot remember what her name was, though.
I can't either.
Anyway.
Oh, well.
So, and then there's also Gilbert, who lives upstairs and very rarely comes down because he just reads a lot. I'm like, Gilbert, you are living the life, man. I would not be averse to being Gilbert right now. So, yeah. So, Rose goes through... This is going to be a real short one. Rose goes through the dreams looking for Jed, of course. And she's having trouble finding him, but she can go through her friends' dreams. Right. So she goes through the dreams of, like, everybody. So Hal is there doing his drag show. Lyda's there with her ghost husband, and they're just going at it on the couch. And she's like, Rose? Like, what are you doing in here?
So awkward.
Yeah. And then, like, she goes, there's, like, a poetry reading or whatever that the one woman is at. Ken, for some reason, is naked.
Trying to get into the car.
Yeah. Barbie is, like, off with, what was the...
A magical... Martin Tin Bones.
Martin Tin Bones. This big, like, beast kind of thing. And she's, like, all dressed like a princess. And they're going on adventures.
And the comics go into more detail on that. And it was honestly one of my favorite stories. Aww. So I really hope they go into it later.
I don't know if they will, though.
I don't know. I really hope so, though.
I feel like I remember liking that part, but I don't remember anything that happened in it. So I'm gonna have to reread some of them again. So yeah, she goes through all of that, and then she finds. Oh no, she doesn't find him yet. She's still trying to look for Jed. Lyda in her dream is pregnant.
Yeah, her husband's trying to get her to stay. He built a like nursery. Yeah, it's like stay. I'll get you pregnant.
Yeah, and then he does, so that's weird.
Yeah, it's real weird, and it translates to the real world. She's actually pregnant.
Yep, and then Rose does manage to find Jed in the dream.
Yeah, Jed's been in a bad spot. Yes. His foster parents...
Yes, we have not talked about this.
Yeah, his foster parents are...
They're not.
The dad especially is abusive. And they lock him in the cellar.
Yeah, the mom just lets the dad do whatever, even though you can tell she doesn't want him to...
Yeah, she thought about running away with him at one point, but they didn't get away.
Exactly.
So
it's bad.
Yeah, it's real bad.
And Lyda and Rose have been talking to the woman at the foster thing. And so she goes to check on them at one point, but gives them like a notice before. Yeah. So they're able to like
coach him.
Yeah, exactly. So that basically, you've gotta be on your best behavior during this or we're gonna beat you,
Yeah. She did not talk to him on his own, which is what you're supposed to do.
Yep. So
that's why he couldn't say anything.
Yeah, and he tried to slip her a note, but they found it. And so not good things for Jed.
Nope. Real bad.
At one point, he gets bitten by a rat, and I was like, this child is going to have rabies. Yeah, yeah. This is terrible.
It was real bad for him.
Yeah, not a good thing for him. So the only thing that he has going for him is his dreams. Because for some reason, he's not part of the dreaming, but he's still dreaming about stuff. Yeah. And there's someone there that looks like his mom that is like, he's in his dreams, he's a superhero. Right. And he's called the Sandman. And this woman who looks like his mom is sending him out on like different missions and stuff. It's like, oh, here's the Pied Piper, go fight him and everything. And she's kind of like the Alfred to his Batman. Yeah. But anyway, so Rose finds Jed because they find him through like, I forget exactly how they get there, but they find in the dreams he's dreaming that he's in their old or near their old house. And so that's how she finds him. Yeah. There he is, and he's in his little Sandman costume. Yep. Superhero. And of course, the woman helping him tells him that Dream, he doesn't need to go after Dream because this is the king of nightmares or whatever. Yeah. He's the worst bad guy there is, but he goes anyway. And anyway, this woman who's pretending to be the mother is actually Galt. one of the missing nightmares. So...
And she wasn't trying to be bad. She was
she was actually trying to be good.
He's being abused. Like, I'm trying to help him.
Exactly.
I'm tired of being a nightmare. I
want to be a dream, not a nightmare. And I want to help children who are being abused and all this stuff. So she's trying to be good.
Yeah. And Dream's like, no, bye.
Yeah, so Dream's like, no, sorry, you're going to have to go to whatever this other place is and think about what you've done for the next 1,000 years or whatever. So he sends her away, disintegrates her. Yeah, and he and Lucien get into a fight about that too. Because Lucien's like, people can change.
Yeah.
He's like, these aren't people, these are dreams and nightmares and stuff. And it's like, yeah, but they can change too.
Yeah, you've changed.
You've changed.
Yeah.
You're different than you were when you came back. Or before you left and everything. So that gives him something to think.
Yep.
And unfortunately, while he was in the dream with Rose, he didn't let Jed tell Rose where he was.
Yeah.
Or he kind of did a little bit. And so she does manage to find him.
Yeah.
But by the time she gets there, the Corinthian has already been there.
Yeah, because he went and killed the social worker and
found him.
Found where he is.
And killed the foster parents.
Yeah.
And took Jed. Mm-hmm. And he's like, I'm a friend of your sister.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take you to her. And it's like, oh, no.
Yeah, he's real happy about it.
But I mean, he's not a bad guy to Jed.
No,
he's actually really nice to Jed.
Surprisingly,
yeah. It's like, this is weird.
It is real weird.
He's being so nice to this kid.
Yeah.
Because he, takes him out for ice cream and everything.
Yeah.
And just laughing with him and
everything.
everything.
Talks with him, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, this is so weird. Why is the Corinthian being nice? I don't like this.
Stop it.
Stop being nice.
Teeth eyes.
Oh my gosh, yeah, we didn't even mention that.
Oh yeah, Corinthian says teeth for eyes.
Yeah, he has mouths for eyes. And it's real creepy.
It is.
And when he takes people's eyeballs, he eats them.
Yeah, with his eye
mouths.
He wears sunglasses all the time. That's why people aren't constantly screaming.
They're not constantly going, oh my god, what is that? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So there we go. He's taken Jed.
Yep, and they're going to the cereal convention.
Yep, because that's the next episode. Mm-hmm. So yeah, they're heading off to the cereal convention.
Yep, and calls Rose and it's like, hey, I got your brother.
Yep, and lets him talk to her and everything. Yep. And he's like, hey, we're going there.
We'll meet you over there.
3 hours away from where she is.
Yep.
And she's like, okay, great.
Because she arrived at she arrived at the foster house too, but they were already dead and Jed wasn't there. So yeah.
So anyway, also at the end of the last episode, I think it was, Rose also finds out that Lyda is pregnant.
Yeah.
And in the beginning of this one, Matthew sees it and goes to Dream and is like, goes to Lucien and is like, I don't know how, but Rose got Lyda pregnant.
Yeah. She's like, whoa,
what? So yeah, now Rose is like, because she's so close to everybody, all their dreams are
merging and
she's pulling messing people up. To her. Yeah, and doing things that they shouldn't do. Mm-hmm. And at one point there are earthquakes inside of the dreaming. And so they're like, we've got to figure out what's going on with this. Mm-hmm. So yeah, Gilbert, since Lyda can't go, take Rose to Georgia.
Yeah, because she's basically like, I'm going to go basically live in the dream.
Yeah.
So
she's like,
come visit me. I'm just going to go in here and go to sleep, I guess.
Yep, I'm just going to go live in the dream with my dead husband.
Yep.
And our dream baby.
Real weird.
So she's like, okay, well, I guess I'll go. And then Gilbert's like, well, I'll take you. I'll drive you to Georgia. So I was like, all right, cool.
Stephen Fry.
It is Stephen Fry, Gilbert. Yes. Oh, and you missed it because you were already gone. But in Heartstopper, Stephen Fry's in it too. But it's just his voice.
Oh, okay.
Because he's like the principal of the school or whatever.
Oh, okay.
So it's cute.
Yeah.
Anyway, so so there are all these earthquakes happening, and Rose falls asleep in the car, and she goes to see Lyda in the dream. Lyda and Hector, who's the husband. And while they're there, Dream shows up too. Yeah. And he's like, this can't go on any longer.
Ghosts are not supposed to be in the dreaming, because Hector is apparently a ghost who he's
just been hiding out there.
Taken, into the dreaming and made it his own deal.
And he's like, you can't do that, bro. You gotta go, man. So, of course, Lyda's like, no, you need to get out of our house and everything. He's like, oh, really? And he just, turns Hector into dust.
Yeah. He's like, all right. Enough of this.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, that baby that was conceived in the dreaming, that's my baby.
I'm going to be coming to get that baby sometime. Yep. So, ooh, yikes.
Rough go.
So yeah, he's like, sometime in the future, I'm going to be taking that baby, just so you know.
Yep.
So that's not good.
Yeah. So that freaks her out. She remembers when she wakes up and everything.
Yeah.
So
then they get to the convention. The Corinthian puts like Jed up in the room and is like, stay here. I've got to go do some stuff, but I'll be back in a few hours. So yeah, Jed's like, okay, well, you know, I do have this whole plate of chicken fingers that I can be sitting here eating, but I'm going to go downstairs.
Like a mountain of chicken fingers.
I was like, dang, that is way too many chicken fingers.
It's so much chicken fingers.
But I mean, I'm okay with it. I would eat it. They look good. So anyway, he goes down and he's like sneaking around where he's not supposed to be.
He's snooping.
There are all these serial killers around, so it's like, oh geez. But they have this thing where they're not supposed to kill anybody while they're there.
Yep.
They have to wait until the convention is over and they're at least 200 miles away. And then they can kill somebody if they want.
Yeah.
So there's this one guy they find out is not actually a serial killer.
Imposter.
He is pretending to be the boogeyman, but he is not actually the boogeyman because the boogeyman is dead.
Yep.
And the Corinthian knows it. And I'm like, how does the Corinthian know it? Did he kill the boogeyman?
Probably.
Because I'm thinking he killed the boogeyman. So, yeah, he's like, he owns a blog or something.
Yeah. And he's just a real big fan of serial killers.
Exactly.
It's weird.
So they're like, okay, well, you know, we're going to kill him. So
yeah.
So that's what they start to do. And Jed, of course, walks in and sees it. And it's like, Jed, you idiot. Why didn't you stay in your room?
Run, Jed.
So he runs off.
Luckily, he's caught by Funland, who
oh my gosh, so gross.
Just the grossest guy. He's basically a pedophile killer.
Yep.
And he's like, I'll protect you. Come to my room. Ugh. It's like, oh no.
No, don't do it. But Rose is there at this point, and she finds out that she has her own room there.
Yeah, which she's found surprising.
Yeah, because the Corinthian had room for her.
Yep. And, I mean, I think they're in the same room.
Well, it's the same room as Jed.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess. Or maybe in the same, but I don't know.
And Gilbert sees the Corinthian and he's like, nope.
Oh, I know that guy. Get out of here.
Yeah. So it's like, hey, tell Rose I gotta get out of here.
Go.
I gotta go home.
Exactly. So it's kind of like, how does he know the Corinthian?
Yeah.
Know? So he's out. He's out of there. Then Rose finds Jed.
Yeah, luckily.
But
Funland chases him.
Yes, Funland chases him around until the Corinthian kills him.
Yeah.
So Corinthian saves him basically, and he's like, "Okay, well, Rose, you're the vortex, the dream vortex. So Dream is gonna kill you because
that's what you do to vortexes.
Exactly. That's just what you do to a vortex.
But you can control the dreaming."
And you can let
me be cool.
Yeah, you can kill him and you can take over the dreaming and then, you know, just let me do my own thing.
Yeah.
Sounds great, right? He's like, so I'm gonna...
I protect you. You let me kill people.
Exactly. So he's like, so you guys stay up here. I've got to go downstairs and do like this speech kind of thing. Yeah. You know, I'll be right back in like an hour. So just like hang out here. I'll even give you my key. So when I come back, I'll knock and just don't let anybody else in unless it's me, you know? And you're gonna be safe in here. So that's what they do.
Yeah, he goes down to give a speech.
It's like, okay, don't know why you're trusting the Corinthian, but I mean, sure, Dream is gonna kill you. So
Rose falls asleep, and Corinthian's giving a speech. He's like, "Close your eyes, everybody. I want you to think about all your happy places or whatever."
We did forget some stuff.
What?
We forgot that Gilbert shows up in the dreaming.
Oh yeah, he did. That's right.
Because Gilbert is actually Fiddler's Green.
Yes.
And he goes back to Dream and he tells him that he's seen the Corinthian. And that the Corinthian is there where Rose is. And they're like, oh crap.
Yep.
So that's... this is bad.
Yep.
And then what we've already talked about a little bit is episode 10. But yes.
Yep.
So during his speech and everything, he gets them to...
Yep. And Rose is asleep and she's vortexing her deal.
Yep.
So Dream shows up. It's like, Corinthian.
You know, you're not supposed to do this.
Very bad.
Exactly. So Corinthian comes up. He's got his knife and everything. Yeah. And he stabs Dream. And Dream's like, oh, this is not going to hurt me, bro. But it does.
Yeah. He's like, ah.
He's like, oh, this is not good.
Because Rose is messing with the dreaming.
Yeah, she's becoming
his power is not as good.
She's becoming the center of the dreaming.
Right.
So
it's not him any longer.
Yes. But he is able to uncreate Corinthian. So he dissolves him, basically.
Well, eventually they go up and they talk to Rose in the dream, because it's like a shared dream. So he goes in there and she rebuilds the walls and wakes up. And then, he's able to do that. The Corinthian, yeah. Like, I'm going to remake you. You were supposed to be so good. You were the chosen one.
Yep. So then he also, after he does that, he wakes up all of the serial killers from their daydreams or whatever. So he's like, now you're going to feel guilt for everything that you've done.
Shame.
Yep, exactly.
Gonna hate yourself.
And so they all just like file out of there.
Yep.
And some of them, like one of them calls the police on herself. Yeah. One of them shoots himself.
Yeah.
And so they're all feeling remorse for what they've done.
Yep.
So there you go. He took care of all the serial killers.
A lot of serial killers right there.
Guess they're not gonna be doing that anymore.
Yep.
So then Rose gets a call that Lyda is having her baby. Mm-hmm. So they head back, and after she has the baby, is it after? I think it's before she has the baby. Lyda asks Rose to come in, and she tries to convince her to kill Dream. She's like, if you don't,
he's gonna come get my baby.
He's gonna do all this other stuff. He's gonna kill you, so you have to kill him. So she's
like, I don't know if I want to kill him.
Yeah, so she falls asleep, of course. And I guess everybody else is asleep too, because all the dreams start coming together.
Yep.
So there's like Naked Ken, there's Barbie and Martin Tinbones.
There's Ken, like, getting favors from a nurse that he had been flirting with.
Yes, that's what it is.
Yeah, but, Barbie sees it. She's like, bro,
dude, really?
You suck.
Of course, Hal is there and
performing with himself.
Yes, and the woman whose name we can never remember, she's there doing her thing. It was a dark and stormy night, and Zelda
runs in and helps her remember the story.
So they're all there together. All the dreams are just blending together. And
vortex forms.
Yes.
They all get sucked into it.
Even Jed, who shows up as the Sandman to save the day. And she's like, no, get out of here, Jed, you idiot.
Jumps into the vortex.
It's like, okay, well, there we go. How am I supposed to get him back?
Jed.
You know? Exactly. So Dream's like, well, the only way to save him is to die, basically, is for you to die.
Gotta kill you.
So Fiddler's Green shows up again.
Yeah.
Although I think this is the point where you find out he's actually Fiddler's Green.
Yeah.
Or it may have said in the one before. I can't remember. But anyway, he shows up and he says, well, if you stay in Dream, after you die, if you stay in Dream or whatever, you can come visit me.
Yeah. He offered up his life for hers. He's like, kill me instead. I wanted to be a human just to experience it.
Yeah.
It wasn't because I was mad at you, but to kill me as my human form.
Yeah, but it doesn't work that way because it's not the vortex.
Yeah. No. Get out of here.
So, also, Unity has been...
She's been sleeping.
She's asleep, and she's in the dreaming at this point.
She's in the library.
She's in the library. She's looking for the book of what her life would have been like if she had not been asleep for so long. And so she finally does find it.
Yeah.
And she shows up.
Yeah.
Because she's like, okay, so here's what happened.
Stop it.
You don't kill Rose, because she wasn't meant to be the vortex in the first place. It was supposed to be me.
Yeah.
But when I went to sleep, something changed, and I didn't become the vortex. So it passed down the line to one of my ancestors, or whatever. Descendants.
Yeah.
I said ancestors. That's not what I meant. So... She's like, so since I was supposed to be the vortex, she can give me the power of the vortex, and you can kill me. So that's what happens. Although he doesn't really kill her. It's like the heart shatters.
Just shatters, yeah.
Because she's like, she tells Rose, pull what is making you the vortex out of yourself and give it to me.
Yeah.
And so she does, and when she does, it comes out and it's this big glass heart. And she gives it to Unity, and it breaks in her hands, and Unity dies.
Yeah.
But she's still in the dreaming.
Yeah, she's probably part of the dreaming now.
Yeah. So this is where we find out that the golden-eyed, that she talks about her golden-eyed man in her dreams. And Dream is like, that sounds familiar. I only know one person who has golden eyes. Uh-oh. So
that's when it cuts to Desire.
Yeah, it was Desire. Desire was Rose's great-grandfather.
Yeah.
Because Desire wanted Dream to spill family blood. Because apparently if any of the Endless spill family blood, something bad happens.
Yeah.
But it doesn't go into it. It doesn't tell. And Rose is his family because, of course... Yeah. Because of Desire.
Yep.
And that would have been very bad. Yep. So luckily Unity showed up and fixed everything.
Yep.
So Rose gets to go off to London or whatever with Jed and gets to inherit all of Unity's stuff.
Yep.
And Lyda gets to go with him, I guess. And they raise the baby and until Dream eventually will take it, whenever that is. And then Dream is working on new dreams and nightmares. And Lucien shows up and is like, hey, so everything's good, you know?
He apologized to Lucien.
Yeah.
Because she's been very loyal to him and took care of things while he was away.
Yeah, and he's like, and I'm going to be down here for a while, so, you know, you can take care of things while I'm gone. You know, I trust you. And also, he says, oh, but don't leave yet, because don't you want to meet this new dream that I've made? And it's Galt.
Yeah.
He made Galt into a dream, and she
gave
has
her
wings.
Yeah.
And she's so happy, because she gets to be a dream now. So that was really sweet. And it's like, see, he can change.
He is different.
He's definitely different.
Yep.
So it's very cute. And then we go down to hell again, and Lucifer's there.
Oh, yeah.
And Azazel shows up and is like, yeah, so the council or whatever has decided that we need to go after Dream.
Yeah.
And so Lucifer's like, I'm down with that. So, there's going to be a war.
Yep. Something's going to happen.
Yep. So that's all of that one.
Yep.
So that's all of the official season, I guess.
Right.
And then a couple of weeks ago, they came out and were like, here's an extra episode.
It's a bonus ep.
That's a bonus ep. So episode 11. This one is 2 separate little stories.
Yeah.
The first one is called A Dream of the Thousand Cats. And as soon as I saw that and saw the very beginning of it, I was like, oh my gosh, there's a kitten.
Cute little kitten.
So, yeah, it's animated. There's a little kitten, and after the kitten's family goes to bed, there's a cat that shows up outside and is like, come on, we gotta go to the meeting or whatever. So the cat escapes. They go out. They meet up with a bunch of other cats. There's like just cats everywhere. And there's this one Siamese cat. She shows up and she tells her story.
Yep.
And her story, she had this family that she lived with, and she was like, everything's great. You know, they pet me. All I have to do is show them some affection. They give me food. They do all this stuff for me. But then one night she saw this tomcat walking outside, and she's like, I want a piece of that. Yep. And she got a piece of that.
She did.
She got pregnant. And had all these kittens. But since she was purebred, her owners were like, her owners were like, we don't want these stinking kittens.
Well, so the guy did, yeah.
Because the woman was like, well, but they're cute. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, he sucks.
So his name was Paul. I'll never forget Paul. So, yeah, he takes the kittens and puts them in a bag.
Yep, throws them in a river.
And drowns them.
Yep, it's pretty messed up.
It is, and she can feel them dying,
basically.
And it's like, this is the worst thing.
Very messed up.
This guy needs to die. I hate him.
Yeah.
So, anyway, she goes into a dream, and she goes to find Dream, or the King of Cats.
Right.
And she goes to the cave where he lives. She has to go through like all these
really
different
long trek.
Yeah, like all these cold places and
ghost forest,
and goes through like a river and everything until she finally gets to the cave. And there are guards at the cave. There's like a Pegasus, a griffin, and a wyvern or something like that.
Yeah, just like what Dream's guards are at his castle.
Yeah.
So it is
his
just, you
castle.
See it
it's just the cat version, basically. Yeah. So she goes in and he tells her about when cats ruled the world.
They were huge, giant cats.
Yes.
And people were tiny, like cats. And they just hunt them like mice, basically.
Well, the people would like
take care
of them. They would pet them and everything and groom them and stuff. But then at night they would chase after them.
Yeah, that's messed up.
They would hunt the humans and eat them. It's like, okay, wow, bite the hand that feeds you for sure. Yeah. Man.
And then the humans rose up.
Well, the one human gives like this speech about how they can dream of a different world or whatever, where they are the ones in charge. And that's what happens. Yeah. There's so many of them, like 1,000. It may have just been 1,000 of them, but that 1,000 all dreamed the same dream
at the same time.
And it just changed the world.
Shaped the world, yeah.
They dreamed the world so that it's the way it is now and always had been that way. So no one remembers when it was the other way.
Right.
Because it basically just like starts a new world.
Yeah.
it's kind of like a parallel universe kind of thing. So now she's doing the same thing that guy did.
She's trying to inspire all the cats to dream that dream.
Because she woke up from her dream and she's like, all right, and now I know what I'm supposed to do. And so she leaves that home, which good. Paul deserves to lose his cat.
Yeah, wouldn't mind if she just drug a little claw.
Right, because I was like, just scratch him up.
Scratch him up a little.
Scratch him up real good.
Yeah.
So anyway, she's doing what that one guy did, trying to get the cats to all dream of the world where they're in charge again. And that's basically it.
Some of them was like, yeah, well, like, good luck getting 1,000 cats to do the same thing.
Sure, whatever. And they all just kind of walk off, but the one little kitten jumps down and is like, Mistress, I believe. Yeah. It's so cute.
And she dreams that night. They're like, oh, look, she's hunting. It's so cute. And she's like, and
she just like chomps down.
Eats a human.
Yep. Dreaming she's eating a human.
Yep.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
It's really cute. So, I don't know if I really liked the way the animation looked. There was something about it.
It's weird.
It looked kind of like rotoscopy.
Yeah.
And I'm not really big on that, but it was really cute. It was an interesting one. So then the second half of the episode is about Calliope. So you have Richard Maddock.
Yeah.
And he is a writer. He's also like a professor or whatever, but he's only written one book. And now he has no more inspiration. He can't think of what else to write. So he goes to Erasmus Fry. Erasmus Fry. Famous writer. And he brings him a bezoar.
Yeah, hairball.
From like a woman's stomach.
Yeah.
And in exchange for that, Erasmus gives him the muse that he captured in Greece.
Yeah.
And it is the youngest of the muses, Calliope.
Right.
So he takes her home and like locks her up and everything. He's like, I'll let you go if you just help me write one book.
Yep, give me ideas.
Yep.
And she's like, no. Dude. And the guy told him he has to woo her, apparently, is how it's supposed to be done. But he said, but I found force is the most effective manner.
Exactly. So
he tries wooing her.
He does try wooing her.
Tries begging her, buys her a bunch of gifts and everything. Because she's like, nah, dude.
Yeah, he begs her and everything. She's like, when you set me free, if you beg me again, I'll help you.
Yeah. But he's like, no.
He's like, no, I'm not going to do that. It's like, you idiot.
Yeah.
You could have had so much if you had just done that. It would have been so much better for you. But no. Yeah. So he forces her to be his muse.
He forces himself upon her, basically.
Yep.
And that's how he gets the ideas.
He gets inspiration, and he writes his next book, and it's a big hit and everything. Everybody loves it.
He writes like 2 books, so it goes on for a while.
Yeah. And then Calliope is like, I've got to get out of this. So she calls on the Fates.
Yeah.
So they show up and they tell her that she should ask one of the Endless for help. And she already...
Dream would be a good idea.
Yeah, it would be a good idea. You and Dream were really close at one point.
Yep.
Because they were married.
Yep.
And they had a kid because they had Orpheus.
Yeah.
And Orpheus died, of course. And they just kind of haven't talked to each other since then.
Yeah.
They broke up or whatever.
And they're like, well, too bad. Dream's captured too. So,
so
he can't help you anyway.
He can't really help. Sorry. We can't help and he can't help. So guess you're stuck
Bye.
here. Gotta go. So.
Yeah, it continues on.
Yeah.
And then eventually she sees the newspaper that sleeping sickness. Someone had woken up.
Over. So she's like, oh my goodness. This is my chance. So she calls on him and asks for help. He does show up and he's like, sure, I'll help you. So he goes to talk to Rick.
Oh, Rick.
Of course, he doesn't go by Richard anymore. He goes by Rick. It's like, okay.
It's a very cool name.
It's like, I did not like this guy before. And now I don't like him for sure. So he goes to him and he's like, set her free and I can help you. And he's like, no, dog. I'm good. So he's like, all right. Well, you wanted ideas? I can give you ideas.
So many ideas.
So many ideas you won't know what to do. So he's like, okay.
Bro.
So that's what he does.
He goes to a book reading and he's reading his book and then he takes questions and they're like, where do you get these ideas or whatever? He's like, oh, they just come to me. Like, say you're at a book day.
Yeah.
And then he just starts going through a bunch of different ideas. He can't stop.
And he can't stop. And he just walks out and he's still saying them as he goes, as he walks out. And he walks to the stairwell and
they find
him on the stairwell. His fingers are just like...
Yeah, his fingertips are bone.
All gross. Yeah. And bone and bloody because he didn't have a pen and paper to write down his ideas. So he just had to use his hands and he's just writing on the walls in blood. Yeah. It's just gross. And he just keeps talking. He just keeps coming up with these ideas. And he's like, I can't stop.
It's like, you gotta go. There's a lady in my room.
In my
Please
house. You have
go
to let her
release
out.
her. Tell her she's free. I free her.
Exactly. So that's what one of the girls does while the other one takes him to the hospital. And she gets there and Calliope's not there. All that's there is a book from Erasmus Fry.
Yeah, the one book he was like,
he wanted
please get that reprinted because they're all out of print for some reason. And he had killed himself with poison, apparently.
Yes. And did you see that when it showed, like, the book, it was about a muse?
Oh, was it?
Yeah, I think that's what it said. So it was, like, a book that he had written about her, I guess. So, anyway, that's all that's there. And so the girl takes the book and leaves. And
Calliope and Dream talk.
Yes.
And she's like, let him go.
Yeah.
I've got to forgive him. I don't forgive what he did, but
I can forgive
him for myself.
Yeah. And so he's like, okay, I'll free him, you know.
Yeah. And by the way, we need to talk about her son sometime.
Yeah.
Can I meet you in the dreaming? He's like, later.
It's like, let's wait. Let's wait on that. And so they part, but they seem to be on good terms.
Yeah.
And then it shows Rick in the hospital, and he just can't remember anything. He can't remember her.
Thoughts. Yeah.
He doesn't have any ideas at all. He's just like nothing.
Yeah, he's in a bad way.
Yep. But I mean,
he deserved it.
He did.
Yep. He sucked.
He did. And I was so annoyed because it was Arthur Darvill, and I'm like, no, don't make him be a bad guy. So anyway.
Yeah. So that was Sandman.
It was. That was it.
I liked it. I thought it was good. It's tough for the main guy because he is just so kind of like, he's got to be kind of deadpan and emotionless and stuff.
Yeah, he does.
Everybody else kind of just acts around him.
Yeah.
And he's just like this emo guy. Yeah. Just like, well, all right.
Yeah, it's so funny though, because like when I saw the first preview for it, you know, I was like, his hair's not big enough.
Yeah, you know, I agree.
Because his hair looks like normal. It doesn't look. It looks like you can walk out on the street and see somebody with that hairdo right now. But I mean, Dream in the comic books, he's
crazy hair.
He's like, what is his name? Robert Smith from The Cure. Yeah. I think that's who he was probably inspired by, because he looks very much like that. And there is one thing that I liked, you know, in the comic books, it shows a lot. His eyes are just like dark, but there's like one light. And they did that in the show, and I was like, ooh, that looks really cool.
Yeah. And most of the time he has normal looking eyes, but they'll
occasionally they'll do something like that, and it's like, oh, I like that. That's cool.
Yeah, there were a lot of things like I got really excited because like the opening thing, and I gave Harry Potter the same crap for the same thing, but yeah, you know, whatever. But like the Raven flying through the kingdom and stuff, and seeing all the characters, I was like, oh, there's that one. Like there's Marv Pumpkinhead or whatever, which voiced by Mark Hamill. Yeah. Didn't have much part in it, but you know, it was cool to see. And just everybody. And I like the changes they made. Kept me guessing. And I thought it was interesting. I thought they did just enough to change it up, but still faithful to the story. Yeah. So I'm excited for hopefully the next season if Warner Brothers doesn't go under. Whatever,
oh my gosh.
Whatever's going on with them. Yeah. But other than that, I liked it.
Yeah, and since it's Netflix, maybe even if something happens with Warner Brothers, somebody else will take over. I don't know.
We can hope so.
But yeah, because I would like to see more of it. It was interesting.
Too.
But if they didn't do more of it, I think that it ended in a pretty good way. So
yeah. I mean, it's pretty self-contained. But there are a lot of stories like that I've read that I would really like to see. Yeah. Told again. It's a lot of fun stuff because it's like the comics are like each volume is just like an isolated story kind of deal. Yeah. And Dream's not always like the main focus. And he just kind of shows up like So
Yeah, because there were a couple, especially the diner one where he just shows up at the end, like for a few minutes, and that was it.
Yeah.
The rest of it was just like what was happening in the diner.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was like, wait, is this episode gonna have Dream at all? He did show up.
And eventually we're like, please just let Dream show up.
Oh my god, just please
Stop.
end it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there were, like, the one with the cats, he wasn't in it very much.
Yeah. And he was a cat.
Yeah. And he actually wasn't in the one with Calliope very much either. That whole last episode, he was just in it a little bit.
Yep.
So, yeah.
It's good stuff. Mm-hmm. All right, so our snack this week. We realized that we screwed up.
Yeah, because we didn't know that we were going to do
Sandman.
Yeah, we didn't know we were going to do Sandman. And as I was leaving work the other day, I was like, oh, well, if we're going to do Sandman, what would be a good snack for us to do? Something dream. Oh my gosh, we just did that stupid Dream World Coke last week. Why didn't we save it? Because we had this
at the time. We had another Coke product.
We chose poorly.
We chose very poorly.
So, yeah, it's not the dream related one.
It's not.
But this one, how can we fit this? Well, when you dream, you are usually in bed asleep on your pillow. And pillows are kind of fluffy, like marshmallows.
Like marshmallows.
So it's the Marshmello's limited edition Coca-Cola Zero Sugar.
Is Marshmello a gamer?
Marshmello is like a DJ.
A DJ, okay. I don't know much about Marshmello. I just know he wears that head.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's a DJ.
Sounds right. So, yeah, he's the artist, Marshmello.
Yeah.
So, it's a watermelon and strawberry flavored soda, which is weird. Why is it not flavored like marshmallows?
Right. It doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense.
Make it make sense.
Nobody can. And it's a Coke Zero, so.
Yes. He's an American music producer.
Okay. So, yeah, let's open it up and give it a shot.
Okay.
All right.
It smells watermelon-y.
It does. It kind of smells like the dream thing.
A little bit. It smells better, though, to me.
Yeah.
It doesn't have much taste.
It does. It does. It's not great.
I don't know. It just doesn't have a lot of taste to me. Maybe because I've been drinking all kinds of other stuff. Because I had like a peach Faygo and I had root beer, and it's like my taste buds are just messed up today. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know about this. I don't think it's as bad as the Dreamland one was.
I have to say that I still had some of the Dreamland one, or Dream World, whatever it was called. Yeah. Still had some of it left over when I went to work on Monday, so I took it with me to have with my lunch. And I opened it and I was like, oh. It kind of turned my stomach because I was like, I don't know if I want to drink this. And I drank it anyway. So, yeah. I feel like sometimes we rank stuff too quickly.
Maybe.
Because I was like, I don't know. I think this might be like a 3 now.
Yeah, it's lower.
I think it might be lower than what I said.
I even bought another one just to be like, let's give it another shot. Maybe I need to, try it again, get some more, just see if I get used to it or whatever. And I drank half of it and I was like, I'm done. This is bad. So this is another one I'm not a big fan of.
See, I feel like this one isn't as bad as that one to me, but
I don't really like watermelon flavored things in general, like besides actual watermelon.
Yeah. But
like candies and drinks and stuff, I'm not a huge fan. So
but that doesn't
help.
I still can't really taste much flavor.
That's weird.
It is weird.
I
can smell it. I can smell it though. It's like really strong. A smell, but I can't really taste it that much.
Well, all right. What are you giving it? Yeah, we're like 2 hours and 7 minutes.
Okay. Well, I kind of want to change my thing for the one last week.
Let's retcon it.
So I kind of want to re-rank the one from last week as like a 3, and then I'm going to give this one
I might give it a 2.
I'm going to give this one like a 3.5. It's slightly better for me, but not much.
Yeah, I'm giving the old one a 2, and this one 3. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Neither of them are that great.
I mean, you just gotta play it safe, Coke, with this stuff. Don't get too crazy. You're not, leave that stuff to Mountain Dew, to your Sprites.
Yeah.
Those can go crazy, because it's a fruity drink in the first place. But when you do it with Coke, it doesn't work.
Yeah, because you do
cherry.
You do Sprite cranberry or something. It's like, yeah, that's good.
It's very good. I'd even try a watermelon Sprite.
Yeah, sure.
Strawberry Sprite sounds good.
There's a melon Mountain Dew, which we haven't tried.
Flaming hot. We did that.
We did that one, yeah.
So, stay in your lane, Coke. That's basically what I'm saying.
The only fruit flavor that needs to be going in Coke is cherry.
There you go. Yep. Or lime. I think lime's good in there.
Maybe.
Not too much, though.
Yeah, but lime's more of a mild. It can be a little more mild than some of these other flavors. And honestly, why watermelon and strawberry? Because the watermelon overpowers the strawberry.
Yeah.
Marshmallows. Kind of like, I don't know.
It's like Marshmello doesn't know how to make a good soda.
Well, I still say it should taste like marshmallows.
I do too. That would be interesting. I think that might actually work.
Yeah.
It could.
It could.
Oh, good. That might be what that Stardust or Starlight or whatever it was.
Starlight.
Maybe it's marshmallowy. I don't know.
Maybe, because it did kind of have like a vanilla
It was
kind of
weird,
flavor.
yeah. It was vanilla-y.
Vanilla. It was Milli Vanilli.
Milli Vanilli.
Marshmello Vanilli.
They should have been the sponsor for it.
Oh.
Blame it on the rain. So what snacks or drinks do you think we should try? Do you have any suggestions?
Yeah.
Any weird flavors out there that's not going to make us throw up? Because we don't want those. But just interesting stuff. You can let us know on Twitter at HavingFunCast or on Facebook at HavingFunPod.
Or you can send us an email at havingfunpod@gmail.com.
So that's all from us. So go out and have fun and have a great day. Goodbye.
Bye.